First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Good evening and welcome to First at 5 from WUFT News. I'm Ashley Weinstein.
And I'm Jake Reyes. Thank you so much for joining us.
The state is one step closer to taking over Gainesville Regional Utilities. The bill was passed through the Florida House Committee. This would inhibit the City Commission from making decisions on GRU. A key concern is money. The House Committee on State Affairs wants to ensure GRU does not go bankrupt.
Currently, this particular utility, Gainesville Regional Utility, who has 800 wonderful employees that provide more than 100 years of service to our community, has 4 times the level of debt. 4 times the level of debt of comparable utilities of their size.
And Mayor Ward spoke against the bill, telling committee members the city will reduce the money it takes out of GRU by more than 50%. The City Commission and current Utility Advisory Board will discuss GRU's future at a meeting Friday evening.
The Florida Board of Education is expanding the new policy that critics call Don't Say Gay. The general ban on lessons about gender identity and sexual orientation will now apply to all grade levels, K through 12. The main exception is for reproductive health classes, which have an opt-out system parents could use to avoid having their child attend that particular lesson. Summer is approaching, and it's finally starting to feel that way, Ashley.
I know, I'm not really sure why I wore long sleeves today, but WUFT's Julia Haley joins us now for the weather forecast. Julia, why is it so hot outside?
Well, Ashley, it's definitely time to put on those short sleeves. Those temperatures sitting in the 80s, 82 for Gainesville, 84 Ocala, even 75 for Palatka and 74 St. Augustine due to those sea breezes really staying warm for this afternoon and into this evening. Temperatures changing, an increase of about 4 degrees here in Gainesville, 6 degrees in Jacksonville, and even 7 degrees in Daytona. Take a look outside, currently seeing those blue skies along with Century Tower, 81 degrees outside of our studio with those easterly winds helping to cool us down just a little bit. Now take a look even more as we have those clouds above Ben Hill Griffin Stadium and also seeing those temperatures dip into the 50s tonight. And South Florida continues to experience severe weather. Here in this cell phone video, you can see a water spout in the distance off the Florida Keys, visible from the beach in Isla Mirada. In Miramar, storms brought heavy rain and large hail. After the historic flooding disrupted fuel distribution, state officials are deploying 500,000 gallons of gas to the affected areas. As WTVJ's Alyssa Hyman shows us, state officials say drivers are waiting in long lines and finding pumps empty.
This is the line of cars snaked out to Flagler Tuesday morning, waiting to fill up with gas at the Costco in Northwest Miami-Dade. Well, you do need that Costco membership to fill up here. With 18 pumps and both regular and premium in stock, one driver told us the wait was only about 15 minutes long. But that was not the case for this driver, who told us after striking out several times, he waited a full hour to fill up, and his only option was premium, the more expensive grade.
It's been really hard. I left work, I went to like 6 gas stations, and neither of them had.
You couldn't fill up with regular?
Just premium, that's it. I had to. I was on empty. I couldn't get to work on time.
Well, there's no shortage in the supply of gas. The historic rainfall and flooding last week caused a disruption in the fuel distribution out of Port Everglades. The rain had flooded the roads in and out of the fuel farms, which didn't allow their trucks to bring the gas to the gas stations. Though Monday morning we saw long lines of fuel tank trucks coming in and out of Port Everglades as they worked to pick up the slack to deliver the gas.
The tank systems are fully intact. It's just the pumping systems that don't allow to go from the tanks to the rack.
Officials say there was damage to the pumps at some of the privately owned terminals at the port. But we're told even more of the 12 terminals are back online since that news conference just yesterday.
That was Alyssa Hyman reporting, and thanks, Julia, for the weather report. A mother and child are lucky to be alive after a mobile home fire killed a father and his 2 young children. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office said the family was asleep in a bedroom when the 3-year-old boy told his mother the stove was on fire. HCSO says they arrived 12 minutes later to find 22-year-old Veronica Bermudez with her 3-year-old son Elijah Lopez outside the burning home. Officials say the father, 22-year-old Angel Lopez Sr., was trapped with his 2 children, 5-year-old Angel Lopez Jr. and 14-month-old Harmony Lopez. They were overwhelmed by the flames. The sheriff's office said the mother's hands were burned and hair singed after attempting to rescue the rest of her family. Also in Hillsborough County, a sheriff's deputy teamed up with local boaters to save a father and daughter stranded in the middle of a dark lake. A sheriff says a local man and his family offered to take a deputy out on their boat to search for 31-year-old Christopher Snow and his daughter Alexis. They found them after 40 minutes of searching on the dark lake. The sheriff says the father's life jacket was just too big and he feared he was close to going under.
A shooting outside of a Jacksonville hospital last night ended with an officer shot and the suspect dead. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says a call came in about a suspicious vehicle in the Baptist Health South parking lot. The driver of the vehicle was speeding around the parking lot, hitting multiple parked cars. When officers arrived, the suspect held what looked like a gun out the window and asked police to shoot them. Instead, officers orchestrated a pit maneuver and stopped the car. The suspect fired their gun and hit an officer in the face and chest. The other officers on the scene shot and killed the suspect. The injured officer was taken to the hospital in critical but stable condition.
The Alachua County School Board is conducting a search for its new superintendent. Assisted by the Florida School Board Association, the cost is estimated at roughly $30,000. A final agreement will come back to the board after the work is planned out. Ron Rawls is the pastor of Greater Bethel AME Church in Southeast Gainesville. He says the board has to end the high turnover of superintendents in the district.
Whatever you all do, please use wisdom and let us make sure that we get the right person in place that we expect to be here for a while. Not a do boy or do girl, but somebody that's going to care about our students.
Shane Andrew took over as interim superintendent in March of last year. He is the district's 7th interim superintendent in the last 10 years.
The annual Santa Fe College Student Art Show is gathering place for students to express themselves through 2- and 3-dimensional art. Sculptures, self-portraits, and statement pieces line the walls of the gallery.
WUFT's Francis Kapper paid the gallery a visit today to see what Santa Fe students thought about the display.
I'm at the annual juried Santa Fe Student Art Fair with students from Santa Fe College to see why this art resonates with them. I know the hanging ceramic gator paws behind sure resonate with me. Let's see why they like this art.
I think this piece is really beautiful to me. When I first saw it, I thought of an African-American woman and like even the wildness of the hair and the beauty of it and the grotesque looks on it. I think that it's really a beautiful portrayal of African-American women in today's society.
You can tell that people made it with care, like there was deep thought behind it. So everything about it just felt very introspective. And I really enjoyed that because I like to see how other people's minds work and like what's going through there, how they feel, how they express themselves.
Art for me has always been a good way to express myself where I can kind of bring fantasy and magic into real things, whereas it isn't technically real, but art feels like magic.
Paintings like this is just the words and how it portrays. You see the body, but you don't see the person. You want to know what he's saying, but also you're trying to interpret what you're getting out of it. So it's a two-way communication.
Art in itself fosters creativity, and I feel like creativity fosters growth in people. Creativity allows you to, explore the world with no bounds.
That was Francis Kapper reporting. As Julia said, we've got a preview of the Starship launch tomorrow, along with your look at today's milestone launch for the company.
But first, as Governor DeSantis seemingly prepares to enter the presidential race, his actions against Disney are turning heads, even on his own side of the aisle. We'll tell you all about that and another presidential candidate after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. A new challenger approaches for the presidency, and he comes from the president's own party. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. formally announced his 2024 run today at Boston Park Plaza. Nephew of the late former President John F. Kennedy, RFK currently works as an environmental attorney. Kennedy is also the founder of Children's Health Defense, an anti-vaccination nonprofit group. 2020 Democratic candidate Marianne Williamson is also in the race. And on the other side of the aisle, Donald Trump has a new line of attack against Ron DeSantis as the governor battles with the Walt Disney Corporation, the Republican-controlled state legislature, which will advance a bill aimed at allowing a state takeover of Disney-controlled land. CNN's Brian Todd tells us why some in the GOP believe DeSantis is in over his head.
Florida's powerful and popular governor Ron DeSantis under increasing pressure over his fight with Disney. Former President Donald Trump posting today on his social media website that DeSantis is being, quote, absolutely destroyed by Disney, and that DeSantis is engaging in a political stunt. Trump joins other top Republicans like possible presidential candidate Chris Christie, who are slamming DeSantis for not being able to outmaneuver Disney's CEO.
That's not the guy I want sitting across from President Xi and negotiating our next agreement with China, or sitting across from Putin and trying to resolve what's happening in Ukraine if you can't see around a corner that Bob Iger created for you.
The heat being turned up on DeSantis after his latest threat against Disney to raise Disney's taxes or build something right near Disney's land near Orlando.
People have said, you know, maybe have maybe create a state park, maybe try to do more amusement parks. Someone even said, like, maybe you need another state prison. Who knows? I mean, I just think that the possibilities are endless.
DeSantis' aides say he was joking, according to journalist Mark Caputo, but the stakes are high in his battle against the Magic Kingdom. DeSantis is vowing to retaliate against Disney after the entertainment and theme park giant thwarted DeSantis' attempt for the state to take over power of Disney's special taxing district in that area of Florida.
Disney's a big job generator. It's an incredibly popular place. Like, people come to Florida to go to Disney World. Disney produces very popular films. How much is this going to be a benefit to Ron DeSantis in the long run?
A risk that the man who won his last election in November by almost 20 percentage points has seemed very willing to take. DeSantis' spat with Disney started last year when a Florida law was passed that he backed, limiting instruction of sexual orientation and gender identity in schools. Disney spoke out against that bill. Analysts say by declaring war on Disney, DeSantis is upending the Republican landscape, going against the traditional pro-business values of the party.
Historically, that's not something that the free market GOP has looked to do. But it does signal that we're in a different GOP now. It's sort of culture wars all the way down.
And observers say his willingness to take on Disney is a measure of DeSantis' overall swagger.
As he has grown into the office and the exercise of power, the likes of which we haven't seen in the state.
DeSantis made rounds on Capitol Hill yesterday, seeking endorsement from Republican lawmakers. He so far picked up the endorsement of 3 House Republicans. Donald Trump has gotten many more, including 7 from Florida. And it may not have been the one we're all waiting for, but SpaceX is still pushing ahead with launches.
3, 2, 1, 0, liftoff.
A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket lifted off from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida this morning. The rocket carried 21 new Starlink V2 mini satellites into orbit. These new Starlink satellites are said to be more powerful than the company's original design. SpaceX already has over 4,000 Starlink satellites in orbit. The rocket's first stage returned to Earth, touching down on the drone ship called a shortfall of gravitas in the Atlantic Ocean. Today's launch marks the 25th flight for the company in 2023 so far. After delays, the company is targeting to launch the most powerful rocket ever, Starship, tomorrow. The odds aren't looking good on that launch tomorrow, however, but SpaceX CEO Elon Musk says the team is working around the clock.
Even if everything does get fixed, Julie and I know better than anyone that the weather can bring launches like that to a halt.
Absolutely. And Ashley, we're currently seeing some severe threats throughout the United States, but for us in Texas, if you're planning on watching, we are ready for liftoff. Currently seeing those sunny skies for Thursday morning. When that launch happens around 9:30 to about 10:30, it's going to stay sunny. It's going to be in the mid 70s. A very great day to go out and watch, or even watch from your phone here in Florida. Now, we do have a meteor shower going on tonight and throughout the rest of April, the Lyrid meteor shower. So make sure to look northeast. You could see those meteors making their way throughout our sky. Not only that, but if you take a look outside, we have those sunny skies outside. Although not showing on this cam, we do. And not only that, but we are seeing those temperature changes of about 4 degrees here in Gainesville, 5 in Jacksonville, and seeing those temperatures stay in the 80s. 82 for Gainesville and 84 for Ocala. For your evening, seeing those partly cloudy skies with those temperatures dropping. You can see a nice sunset tonight as well. It's a perfect week to get outside. We do have that warming trend and sunny skies lasting overall, which means for your Thursday morning, we are sitting in the 50s, the mid 50s, and not only that, but we are rising into the mid 80s. So we're staying warm throughout the rest of this week, but we do have a national risk at stake, which means that we do have some high wind gusts around Texas around Friday, and we are seeing that chance for showers around most of South and Central Florida for your Friday as well. But it's looking pretty okay for us here in Gainesville, as we do have this cold front moving through our area on Saturday, Earth Day, bringing some showers throughout interior Florida. And for our Earth Day, seeing those sunny skies lasting, a chance for showers due to that cold front though. And for Sunday, seeing another round of sunny skies. On to your 6-day outlook, seeing sun lasting, that warming trend, and then we are dropping once again due to that cold front, seeing that chance for showers on Earth Day. And as we know, Fort Myers was devastated by Hurricane Ian back in September. One of many structures destroyed was the city's town hall. For the first time since the hurricane, news crews were let inside, including NBC2's Gage Golding, who gives us a look at the damage to the building before it's torn down.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this isn't the typical front door you all had, right?
We did not have a front door. This was created by Hurricane Ian. This was sort of some administrative offices for the town. We're kind of heading back to where the council chambers are. We're going to probably have to sneak in through this door here.
Doesn't smell the best, huh?
Oh, it just gets better as you get in.
This is the main welcome center to the town offices,
The
right?
receptionist would have been right there in front of those palm trees.
Just to think that this has been sitting like this, untouched, kind of like memorialized since September 28th.
It's been more or less, right after the storm, a few staff came in to try to retrieve some key documents, but because everything was so heavily damaged, there wasn't really much to save.
So this is our best route in, huh?
This is the most circuitous route to the council chamber. There's no good route. You have to sort of go through the restroom to get to the council chamber.
It's left the way it was September 27th, paper towels still in the dispenser. Was this tough walking back here for the first time? Seeing it like this?
It was pretty shocking, quite honestly, but you know, you really got to focus on staying safe so you don't get quite the emotional impact.
Inside the council chambers, oh wait, look at this, show this. The hurricane reentry passes for 21 to 23. Ian hit in 2022, as we all know. Just sitting here on the ground, a whole pack of them.
And of course, here's the famous arches mural. I was hoping we could potentially capture parts of this and maybe cut them into 5x5 squares and just make kind of little mementos.
These are all the placards that would go in there?
Yeah, those are old ones.
Really?
We need to save those because people would get a kick out of those. Now, Gage, if you really want to go nuts and walk up the stairs, I would recommend, if you get up to the top of the stairs, I would recommend not going onto the floor.
The building is set to be torn down in about a week. Vice Mayor Jim Adderholt says a new town hall will likely be constructed in the same spot. Ashley, Jake.
Thanks, Julia. Hey, Ashley, Florida softball is back tonight.
I know, and I don't know if you know this, but I actually used to play softball, Jake, and I don't want anyone to be embarrassed if they still have to bring the tee out for you, because they did have to do that for me.
Well, fortunately, the Gators won't need to tease as they take on the USF Bulls today. WUFT's Chris Will has the preview and much more when we return in sports.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Chris Will. Florida softball returns to the diamond tonight, and what was supposed to be a doubleheader will now just be a single game at 7 p.m. WFT's Karina Wilson joins us live from the Gators softball stadium. Karina, what is Florida facing tonight?
Thanks, Chris. I'm here at Katie Cecil Presley Stadium where the number 13 Florida Gators prepare to battle the South Florida Bulls. Originally, the teams were set to play a doubleheader, but due to travel complications, they'll play once. The Orange and Blue are 31-11 on the season, claiming a 23-4 record against non-conference opponents. Not to go unmentioned is Skylar Wallace. The redshirt junior is the SEC Player of the Week. And Wallace didn't stop there, donning the title of National Fast Pitch Coaches Association Player of the Week as well. In addition to leading the nation in triples, the infielder hit 4 home runs in the past week. Tonight's midweek matchup follows series win over conference rival Georgia. On the other hand, USF enters enemy territory riding a 5-game win streak. UF leads the series 59-12, boasting a 25-game win streak over the Bulls. When facing South Florida, Florida is 28-10 at home. This year, the Bulls come in with a 27-18 record. In the circle, redshirt freshman Peyton Dixon captains USF with a 1.47 earned run average. First pitch is set for 7 p.m. I'm reporting live from Katie Cecil Presley Stadium. I'm Karina Wilson. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Karina. And right across the street, the Gators baseball team took on FAMU last night and put quite an offensive show together. It was a beautiful day at Condren Family Ballpark, and it wouldn't take long for the Gators to put this thing away. It was an 8-run second inning highlighted by none other than Jeffrey Allen Caglione's bomb to right field. It's the 22nd home run on the year for the Gator slugger, who will look to break the single-season record at Florida of 26 home runs with 17 regular season games remaining. Florida would walk away with a 17-7 run rule win. They'll start a 3-game series at South Carolina tomorrow with first pitch set for 7:30. Now, Florida football's spring game may have let some doubts in Gator fans' minds, but ESPN seems to have some pretty high standards for the Gators, at least for now. ESPN's Football Power Index has the Gators ranked 18th in the country. The FBI is meant to be a team strength measurement and does change based on daily simulations. The SEC has 6 teams in the top 20, with Alabama and Georgia in the top 3. Gator opponents FSU and Utah also sit in the top 15. And the number 24 Florida men's tennis team is gearing up for the SEC tournament. The Gators will take on Auburn Tigers tomorrow at 4 p.m. Florida enters as the number 8 seed in the tournament, and after a 13-12 record on the year, they'll look to play into Friday's quarterfinals. Now that's all for sports. Now let's send it over to Julia for one last look at the weather.
Thanks, Chris. Seeing those sunny skies outside, and tonight and through the rest of April, make sure to look northeast. You can see some meteors flying throughout the sky. We'll have those meteor showers lasting throughout April. Now, we do have that warming trend, but then seeing that cold front dropping us into the 70s around Sunday, and on Earth Day, seeing those showers last. Not only that, but we are seeing those highs stay relatively in the 80s overall, and then rising throughout Tuesday. And speaking of rising and warming up, we're getting closer to summer, which means that we do have some graduates with us. We have Ashley and Jake. Congratulations.
Thank you, Julia. I appreciate it. You know, guys, it's our last time all at the set together as a team.
I know, Jake, and we've been anchoring together for the past year now, and we have some memorable moments that we have had throughout the past year.
We put together some clips of our favorite moments here, from National Sandwich Day to putting on shades at the desk. We've had some great moments.
We definitely have, and here we're eating sandwiches, and I remember in this clip you were breaking keto, but you're not keto anymore because I saw you eat a sandwich today at lunch.
That's correct, and actually on that clip, I was really upset that I had to break keto, but today, I couldn't go on with the trend of doing keto, but it was a great time.
We've had so much fun over the past year, and I'm definitely going to miss this team and anchoring together. But I'm excited to see where we go after graduation.
I'm so excited about it. Ashley, do you want to say it one last time for us?
Of course. BBC World News is next, and PBS NewsHour is up at 7.
But remember, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a great night.